The first one we're looking at is our groundwater management planning. So Groundwater is the resource manager for groundwater across northern Victoria. So we manage the long-term sustainability for our aquifer systems and also looking after this for our customers who actively use this water. Across northern Victoria and Goulburn Water's region, we have 16 separate groundwater management plans. So the reason we have a number of these is each plan reflects the differences within the aquifer systems. So some are large, some are small. So of these 16, we have 12 local management plans. These local management plans are more of a communication tool, which allow for any customers within these separate areas to look at sort of what their potential access is for groundwater, are many people using it, and what are some of the basic rules of trade and caps and things like that. In addition to this, we have our 4 statutory plans. So these are actually ministerial plans, which have a stronger sort of management process for these systems. This is usually because they're larger systems. They have large-scale irrigation using these. We have allocations for the management of these systems and more effective trading rules of that greater deal of trading that occurs in these areas. So across all these areas, we have approximately 400,000 megalitres of entitlement. And that's split across around about 4,500 customers. So these vary from small-scale users, 1 to 2 megs, right up to our largest customer, which is around about 2,800 megalitres. So of the importance of this groundwater, we actually have quite a large monitoring network. So this is for the protection of the resource, to help manage it for our customers, and also to help the environment, to monitor what is that impact on the environment. So is large-scale extracting impacting on springs? Is it impacting on surface water? Or is climate change having a long-term effect? These are things that we can sort of see through this network. And this network entails approximately 1,200 groundwater observation bores spread right across the state. We have key focus areas in our large-scale use, but we also have separate smaller ones just to monitor what's happening in areas which don't have a great deal of use. These monitoring sites range from, I think our deepest ones are around about 250 metres deep, right up to our small ones, 5-10 metres, just monitoring those shallow systems. But with the importance of this monitoring area, we've actually done a fair bit of improvements over the last 4 or 5 years. And now we have approximately 400 sites which have been upgraded to telemetry and to real-time monitoring. This is quite an exciting part of this monitoring program, is now we're getting to see is what's happening day to day in these aquifer systems. So what are the impacts occurring to them? Is extraction by our customers, is it having an impact on the long-term security of the aquifer system? Or are we seeing long-term effects from climate change? Or are we seeing the connectivity between groundwater and surface water? And with that real-time monitoring, we can really get into greater detail about what those impacts are. But with all this new monitoring, it's really good we've got this new information, but now we get to use it. Now we can get to put it into our long-term plans for that overall management. And that's what these service plans are. They're looking at that long-term management for our customers and for the long-term sustainability of aquifer systems. So that's what this service plan is. It's a groundwater management plan review and development. So these are a review and development program which will be developed between 2024 and 2032. So that's Water Plan 6 and 7. So why are these reviews required? Many of our plans, the majority actually, were developed back in 2009-16. They're really an outcome of that millennium drought and our overall need to have greater management of our aquifer systems for our customers. There's also been a lot happen over the last 10 years. We've had major changes with the Murray-Darling Basin plan and also state policy. So we need to update some of these plans to reflective of that changes to state and federal policy. And as I was talking about with our monitoring system, we now have a greater understanding of our groundwater systems. So now we can have a reflective management process which works with that. We also have a changing environment. So we have new developments. We're moving away from those small-scale farms. We're moving into large-scale enterprises. So, for example, back in the millennium drought, a lot of our farms only had 100, 200 megs in our large aquifer systems. Now we're looking at large-scale developments having 1,500 to 2,000 megs. So we need to be able to make sure that we're managing the aquifer system for these new customers, but also for the existing. And last of all, groundwater is becoming more prominent within our landscape. More people are using it. Groundwater is no longer the secondary backup option. Now it's a priority option for a lot of our customers. So we have to make sure that we're protecting it, as now we're seeing greater use across all our systems. For example, during those dry periods in 2019, and a few of the others, we saw up to 70% usage of all groundwater entitlement. And that's quite large compared to what's happened in the past historically. So as part of this Water Plan 6-7 reviews, we're actually focusing on 12 groundwater management plans. These are the 12 that were identified as key areas that need to be looked at going into the future. We also had to take into account as part of the service plans, what resources do we require to be able to undertake this work. So we've put forward that we'll need at least one extra person, a project sort of planner officer, and we're already working on engaging and employing a new person for that so we can hit the road running with these plan reviews. The key role of this project officer will be they'll lead the consultation with our stakeholders and community. We're going to go out and talk to our farmers, to the catchment management project, see what's important to them and what we need to put in these plans to make sure it works for everybody. Their role is also to look at all the new and existing technical information, so that monitoring. But also, we've also had upgrades in our metering, so we have a greater understanding of what's actually being used across different areas. They'll look at what state and federal policy is reflective of the different areas. We're not going to be required for all the different plans, only some of them. And really have a look at the review of the trading rules, allocations and carryover, which we have in many of our plans. Is it appropriate? Is it working? What can we change? So this service plan really aims to improve our plans for both our customers and the environment and all stakeholders. That's the key parts of the groundwater section. Is there any questions?